There's a reason she lost interest. And it's not always about what you said or didn't say. Sometimes what repels her most is the energy you unknowingly project, the way your silence bends, not with strength, but with need, the way your eyes search, not with confidence, but with approval. Let me tell you about Ryan. Smart guy, good job, kind heart. But every time he thought things were going well, she'd hit him with the same soul-crushing line, "You're like a brother to me." And he'd laugh, mask the sting, then lie awake wondering, what did I do wrong? One night, Ryan called me, voice cracked with frustration. He didn't want tricks. He didn't want pickup lines. He wanted the truth. And what I told him changed everything. Not just with women, but with how he saw himself. These are 4 behaviors that silently signal weakness to women and how to replace them with the calm, centered presence of a Stoic man. 1. Validation seeking, the invisible leak of your power. Ryan used to text her every morning, not with purpose, not with presence, but with need. A digital tap on the shoulder that whispered, "Do I still matter to you?" The truth? Every time he reached out without something real to say, he shrank in her eyes. He didn't realize women don't just read your words. They read your intent. They feel when you're reaching from emptiness. A Stoic man doesn't seek constant reassurance because his self-worth isn't held hostage by how she replies. When Ryan stopped texting just to get a reaction and started choosing silence unless he had something meaningful to offer, everything changed. His silence wasn't anxious. It became a message. "I'm grounded. I don't need you to reflect me. I already see myself." And guess what? She noticed. 2. Emotional reactivity, the collapse of masculine presence. A woman doesn't lose interest when you open up. She pulls away when you fall apart, when every challenge shakes you, when jealousy leaks through every question, when disappointment turns into emotional chaos. Ryan used to spiral. One bad date and he'd start questioning everything. But Stoicism taught him a deeper truth. You have power over your mind, not external events. So he stopped reacting. He started journaling. He learned to pause, to breathe, to wait. And in that stillness, something awakened. He became a man who could hold tension without flinching. And that stillness, that unshakable calm, it pulled her in like gravity. Women don't crave perfection. They crave presence, and presence is born in the fire you refuse to be consumed by. 3. Lack of purpose. The quiet repellent she can't explain. A man without direction doesn't just lose her interest. He activates her fear. Ryan was drifting. No clear goals, no sense of why. He was alive but not awake. And every time she looked at him, she didn't see mystery, she saw uncertainty. If he doesn't know where he's going, how can I trust him to protect where we're going? You don't need to have it all figured out, but you must walk like a man who's building something, even if it's just the next brick. When Ryan started waking with a purpose, no matter how small, his entire posture changed. 1 goal a morning, 1 commitment a day, his energy shifted, and so did hers. She stopped pulling away. She started leaning in. Because women don't follow words, they follow direction. 4. Over-apologizing, the death of respect by 1,000 sorries. Let me be clear, being kind is not weakness. But shrinking who you are to keep the peace? That's fear dressed in manners. Ryan used to apologize for everything, even things he didn't do, even when it wasn't his fault. He avoided confrontation like it was fire, but she didn't see a peacemaker. She saw a man afraid of standing his ground. And the truth is brutal. If she senses you can't protect your own boundaries, she knows you can't protect hers either. A Stoic doesn't use honesty like a hammer, but neither does he dilute it to avoid discomfort. When Ryan started speaking slower, thinking clearer, and telling the truth without fear, he didn't become aggressive. He became real. And women, they don't love the loudest man. They respect the most anchored one. By the 3rd week, Ryan wasn't trying to impress anyone. He wasn't performing. He didn't chase. He didn't explain. He stood straighter. He spoke with pause. He listened like a man who's heard silence and made peace with it. That's the paradox. The less he tried to be liked, the more magnetic he became. Not because he learned new tactics, but because he returned to an older truth. Presence is power, and silence, when rooted in strength, speaks louder than any performance. So if you recognize yourself in these behaviors, don't panic. Recognizing them is the beginning of mastery. The question is, what will you do next time? Next time you feel the urge to prove yourself, pause, breathe. Back yourself, what would a Stoic do? Then choose stillness over reaction, depth over approval, purpose over panic. You don't need to pretend to be alpha. You just need to stop abandoning yourself, because the most dangerous man in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one who no longer needs to be seen to know he's real. And she sees him now, she always has. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to True Stoic Way, where we don't teach tricks, we teach transformation. Let's rebuild the masculine frame from the inside out.